Rare art and priceless collections of the 19th century's wealthiest. The 19th century was a time when many wealthy people collected some of the most amazing and priceless works of art. With their large fortunes, they built incredible collections that helped preserve some of the best art ever created, from beautiful Renaissance paintings to the light and playful works of French Rococo. These collectors played a key role in keeping art alive for future generations. In this video, we'll explore some of the rarest and most valuable art collections from the 19th century. Let's dive into the world of art and discover how these wealthy collectors changed history. John Ruskin, 1819 to 1900. John Ruskin was a British art critic, writer, and social thinker, known for his influential views on art and nature. Ruskin believed that art should be true to life and focused on natural beauty. His writings supported various movements, especially the Pre-Raphaelite Brotherhood, a group of artists who wanted to bring back the detailed, colorful styles of painting before the Renaissance. He was also an admirer of the works of J.M.W. Turner and many other significant artists, becoming one of the most important art collectors and critics of his time. One of Ruskin's most significant contributions was his collection of paintings by J.M.W. Turner, a British painter known for his dramatic landscapes and use of light. Ruskin was one of the earliest critics to appreciate Turner's work, and he later donated many of Turner's pieces to the Tate Britain in London. Some of the most famous works in Ruskin's Turner collection included The Fighting Temeraire, 1839, a painting of a ship being towed to its last voyage, and Rain, Steam, and Speed, 1844, which portrays the energy and movement of a steam train crossing a bridge. These pieces reflect Ruskin's admiration for Turner's ability to capture the power of nature and its influence on human progress. Ruskin was also a key supporter of the Pre-Raphaelite Brotherhood, a group of artists including Dante Gabriel Rossetti, Edward Burne-Jones, and William Holman Hunt. These artists were known for their attention to detail and bright, vivid colors. Ruskin appreciated their detailed style, which sought to revive the art of the past before Raphael's time. In his collection, Ruskin had notable works such as The Awakening Conscience by Holman Hunt, 1853, which portrays a woman realizing the consequences of her life choices, and The Lady of Shalott by John William Waterhouse, 1888, which depicts a tragic character from a poem by Alfred Lord Tennyson. These works reflect Ruskin's belief in the value of naturalistic art that portrayed both human emotion and the beauty of the world. In addition to his interest in painting, Ruskin was passionate about Venetian art and architecture. He admired the works of Canaletto, known for his detailed views of Venice, and Giambattista Tiepolo, famous for his grand frescoes. His collection included View of Venice by Canaletto, a highly detailed painting of the Grand Canal, and The Apotheosis of St. John Nepomuk by Tiepolo, a dramatic fresco. Ruskin believed that these works captured the beauty and culture of Venice, and he used his collection to highlight the importance of preserving these masterpieces for future generations. Another area of Ruskin's collection was the Gothic architecture. He thought that Gothic art, especially in cathedrals, was the art of the artist and the spirit of the artist who made it. Ruskin was propitious to the ornamented style as well as generic meanings brought by such structures. He did not merely acquire pieces that would incorporate Gothic architectural designs in his collection, but also wrote a lot on how valuable Gothic art is. Some of his writings foster respect for the Gothic arts and crafts as the hallmarks of medieval work and beauty, as well as spirituality. Besides, Ruskin housed many substantial art collections, including Raphael's, Michelangelo's, and Giotto's pieces that Ruskin loved and respected for contributing to the post-Renaissance Western art tradition. He has a wide range of collections that he believes nature art society are intertwined. Some of these works were sold, and others bequeathed to public repositories, which would make them useful for future generations. John Ruskin's contribution as a collector, critic, and a social thinker has continued to be felt. His patronage of artists such as Turner and Pre-Raphaelite brought them to limelight, and his articles are still considered relevant to art historians. Most of his works are today prominently displayed in museums and galleries, and his insight into art is still invaluable to the history of art. Charles Saatchi. Charles Saatchi is a businessman from Great Britain and an art patron who exerted a large influence on modern art in England and the rest of the world. Renowned for his ability to spot personalities and ideas and his adventurous buying habits, Saatchi has been credited with having influenced the new wave art scene, especially during the emergent phase of the young British artists in 1990s. His importance went further and beyond mere collecting of artworks. He actively participated in enhancing and supporting artists who were new in the art business by availing them a platform and making them sell their artworks. Another highly recognizable fact about Saatchi's collection is that the man was a patron to the Young British Artists, YBA. This group, which started in the late 1980s and early 1990s, was made up of some of the most radical and innovative artists in modern Britain. All three were fortunate to have Saatchi take an interest in their work, and he played a role in getting them a voice. Damien Hirst, who is one of the leading artists of the YBA group, received favorable support from Saatchi. One of the most iconic works in Saatchi's collection from Hirst is The Physical Impossibility of Death in the Mind of Someone Living, 1991, which features a real shark preserved in formaldehyde. This piece of work questioned what people thought was acceptable to view and what was it to die, to live, and what was the purpose of art, and that made Hirst's work one of the most infamous pieces of art in the world at that time. Saatchi also bought work from Tracy Emin, Sarah Lucas, and Mark Quinn, whose art was radical and many times focused on the taboo. For instance, Emin's My Bed, 1998, caused a stir when it was displayed, as it featured her own unmade bed surrounded by personal items representing vulnerability and chaos. Another interesting direction of the Saatchi collection is the 1990s modern installations, the kind of contemporary art which includes creations of actual spaces or situations for people who look at the work. One of the artists who has benefited from Saatchi patronage include Matthew Barney and Chris O'Feely, who work in found objects. Barney is infamous for his large-scale, aggressive, and frequently hallucinated performances by means of installation, video, and sculpture. His infamous work, Cremaster Cycle, 1994 to 2002, which consists of a series of films and installations, explores themes of identity, gender, and mythology. Hélène de Rothschild, 1837 to 1891. Hélène de Rothschild was a well-known French socialite and art collector from the famous Rothschild family. She was highly respected for her passion and knowledge of 18th and 19th century art, and her collection became one of the most important private art collections in Europe. Hélène had a special eye for finding and preserving beautiful works of art, and her collection was admired by art lovers and critics alike. One of the key themes in Hélène de Rothschild's collection was Rococo art, which was popular in France during the 18th century. This style is known for its light, delicate, and playful nature, often showing scenes of romance and everyday life. Hélène's collection included works by François Boucher, Jean-Honoré Fragonard, and Antoine Watteau, three of the most famous artists of the Rococo movement. Boucher's soft and colorful paintings, Fragonard's playful scenes of love and flirtation, and Watteau's delicate depictions of outdoor gatherings all brought the charm of Rococo art to her collection. These artists were masters of creating graceful and light-hearted paintings that reflected the elegance of their time. Hélène was also drawn to neoclassical art, which was a popular style during the late 18th and early 19th centuries. This style was inspired by the art and culture of ancient Greece and Rome, focusing on simplicity, order, and harmony. In her collection, Hélène had works by Jean-Auguste Dominique Ingres and Jacques-Louis David, two of the leading neoclassical artists. Ingres' precise and realistic portraits, as well as David's dramatic historical paintings, were key examples of this style. Their work showed the beauty of classical themes and the strong, heroic figures that were idealized during the neoclassical period. Another major focus of Hélène de Rothschild's collection was 19th century portraits. She owned many portraits from this period, including works by Elisabeth Louise Vigée de Lebrun and Théodore Géricault. Vigée Lebrun, one of the most famous portrait artists of her time, was known for her elegant and flattering portraits of European royalty. Géricault's work, such as his famous painting The Raft of the Medusa, captured dramatic and intense moments in history. These portraits were important pieces in Hélène's collection, showing the changing styles and attitudes of the 19th century. Besides painting, Hélène de Rothschild also predominated in the decorative arts collection. She had many fine pieces of 18th century French furniture and porcelain, and some from the famous Sauve porcelain manufactory. Sauve was famous for producing porcelain articles that were as delicate as lacework. Designs and the tints were charming. Hélène's furniture and porcelain enriched her collection even more because these items represented the best examples of French decorative arts. Last but not least, French Romanticism was another of Hélène's fields of concern. After the French Revolution, artists such as Eugène Delacroix and Honoré Daumier, painters, painted feelings, ideas, and sentiments of the people. Delacroix's dramatic use of color and movement in paintings like Liberty Leading the People and Daumier's insightful and sometimes humorous caricatures were both part of Hélène's collection. These works represented people's joys and concerns at that time, which described the conquests and conflicts in the 19th century. Henry Clay Frick, 1849 to 1919. Henry Clay Frick was an American industrialist and philanthropist who became one of the most important art collectors of his time. Known for his incredible eye for quality, Frick's collection focused primarily on works by European masters. Many of these masterpieces are now housed in the Frick Collection in New York, one of the most renowned museums in the world. Among the highlights of Frick's collection, one can name the great number of old masters that are presented in the gallery. Frick's collection comprises masterpieces of such masters as Johann Vermeer, Rembrandt, Francisco Goya, and others. Some of the most famous pieces in his collection include Vermeer's delicate painting The Milkmaid, Rembrandt's self-reflection in Self-Portrait with Two Circles, and Goya's powerful portrait, The Duchess of Alba. They are from a sentimentalist period and are characterized by perfect tact, known and profound understanding of human feelings and life. Another was also an art lover, particularly the masters of Italian Renaissance period. Although he bought works by some of the biggest stars of the Renaissance, such as Sandro Botticelli, Titian, and Raphael, he was not conspicuously wealthy. Mythological works in graceful and visionary manner of Botticelli, mighty figure and wonderful portrait painted by Titan, and perfectly symmetrical and balanced pictures painted by Raphael are all in Frick's family collection. These paintings depict Italian Renaissance as blessed with rich colors, well-defined figures, and complicated techniques. Frick also had an important group of 18th century French pictures, especially by François Boucher and Jean-Baptiste Simeon Chardin. The painting of Boucher is associated with frivolous and ornamental aspect of French Rococo period. But Chardin, who painted simple and intimate scenes of everyday life, gives an idea of the elegance of early neoclassicism. They both contributed to the development of the French art at the time, and their pieces are signature exhibitions of Frick. Another major focus of Frick's collection was French porcelain, specifically Sauve's porcelain. Frick's collection included beautiful decorative pieces like vases, tableware, and other finely crafted porcelain items from the famous Sauve's porcelain factory. These items were known for their exceptional craftsmanship, vibrant colors, and intricate designs, and they helped showcase the height of French artistry during the 18th century. Frick also collected a wide range of European decorative arts. Do you have a favorite art period or artist? Let us know in the comments.